Exploring the wild outdoors can feel a little stressful and frightening when you're just getting started with hiking. What treks should you start with? And how can you tell if you have all you need? You might even decide against going on your first hiking adventure as a result of this. But lucky for you, we've got it all on this video, so there are no more valid reasons not to start today. Let's jump straight in. First up, start easy. A lot of people caught on to this activity during the pandemic when you were only allowed to be outdoors. If it's something you've been interested in but never got around to starting, or if you're like us, you have some reservations, you've come to the right place. By the end of this video, you'll have everything you need to know, starting with the basics, which is to take it easy. It's a good idea to start out with a simple hike, particularly in an area you're already familiar with. The best hiking paths for beginners are those that last 2 to 3 hours, are simple to navigate, and have clear signs. Before you become more comfortable on the trails, we would advise you to stay away from any technical ones and steep, slick routes. Your degree of fitness is another thing to think about. If you're normally in good shape, then you can begin with longer hikes and steeper hills than if you haven't worked out in years. Making time for an extra hour or two on the route for your first treks is also a smart idea in case you need to stop frequently. When you first start hiking, you could need more time, and there's many reasons for that. Say if you're not in shape, you'll probably stop more frequently, and perhaps even more slowly, before working your lung capacity and leg muscles. The good news is that after just a few climbs, you'll already see a significant improvement. As a novice hiker, you might also take extra time figuring out the trail as you get used to walking on various surfaces. The good news is you'll become aware of this more quickly than you think. So take our advice. Start early in the day to avoid having to return quickly before it becomes dark. But having said that, remember to always keep a headlamp in your emergency supply. Next, make sure you pack right. This is a crucial piece of advice for all hikers, not just newcomers. Check the weather. You need to take into account not just the local climate when traveling, but also the weather of the area you're going to, as that might be different than the nearby town. This is so important in terms of what you need to pack and wear. You never want to show up unprepared. There's a good chance your hike will be pretty chilled out if the forest calls for heat, sun, and no wind. But there's also a risk that on the trip you experience wind at times, particularly in areas with more open terrain or higher heights, possibly even a drop in temperature. So make sure you always have a windbreaker and additional layers with you. You might not feel the need to drink a lot of water if you're a newbie to hiking. Let us tell you right now, you're wrong. No matter how simple or difficult your journey is, it's always a good idea to stay hydrated by periodically taking little sips of water. Bring enough water to last for each hour of hiking and aim to drink at least 32 ounces before hitting the trails. You might not need to bring food if your hike is shorter than an hour. If not, consume 50 to 100 calories of carbohydrates every half hour to maintain your energy levels. Beginners are normally safe with a pair of hiking shoes that are lighter and more comfy. When you gain experience and are prepared for rocky terrains, it may be time to shift to heavier shoes that give more support. Carrying an emergency kit is some of the most underappreciated hiking advice for beginners. An emergency blanket, multi-tool knife, headlamp, and blister plasters should also be included. Also make sure you've got good sun protection, both shades and sunscreen. Oh, and bug sprays. Now, wondering how to start? Choose your hiking buddies wisely. Finding other seasoned hikers to join is the greatest way to get started if you've never done it before. Search for regional hiking groups or clubs in your area, or ask any hiking friends or family members if you can go hiking with them on a trail that is suitable for beginners. If you're considering going on a trek with a group, check over the itinerary to make sure it's appropriate for your level of fitness and expertise. Not sure if it's appropriate for you? Before arriving at the trailhead, get in touch with the hike organizer and ask any questions you may have. Knowing the route well before you go is one of the best pieces of trekking advice for beginners. One excellent approach to do this is to download a map of the path, but you should also read up on all the hiking-related information you can find. This way, you'll be aware of the many landmarks to look for and the necessary turns. The duration of the hike, the elevation, and the season should all be taken into account. Pick a route based on your level of fitness and previous outdoor experience. A short out-and-back path close to your house can be a fantastic choice to start with. Remember to dress right. Oh, we cannot stress this enough. Drop the idea of going in jeans. Beginner hikers frequently make the mistake of dressing in ordinary clothing and jeans, which will become uncomfortable and chafe if you sweat. Best is if you wear activewear made for exercise, such as wicking workout attire. To prevent your legs from being scraped up on all the shrubs, wear long leggings or tights. Go for the long long-sleeve shirts to keep you warm while providing protection from the weather. The best hiking pants are those that are breathable and can help you stay warm or cool depending on the weather. So basically, you need to wear comfy pants. So, want to know what to expect? Overdoing things is the most common error made by beginners. They choose a hike that is either excessively long or includes excessive amounts of climbing. You won't be doing that. Choose a hike that is less than 5 miles long and has little ascent if you're just getting started. Plan your training beforehand if you wish to go on a longer hike and build up to your desired distance by adding a mile or 2 each week. Don't forget to consider the overall climbing involved in your hike. Remember, 5 miles of level terrain are very different from 5 miles of steep ascent. Keep the Leave No Trace guidelines in mind. If you come across wildlife while hiking, remember you're in their territory. This also goes for littering. Always clean up after yourselves to keep the great outdoors looking like the great outdoors. Also, never feed the animals and keep your distance from them to prepare for encounters with bears, wild boar, or other creatures that can become hostile when threatened. Do some research on the species that can be found along the route you've chosen. Also, you should be alert for any potentially harmful insects or animals that you might come across. So, for example, if you're taking your dog along, make sure you're aware of any potential hazards, such as scorpions, snakes, and other creepy crawlies before going on a hike with them. Always expect the unexpected. Turn around and head back to safety if the weather suddenly changes. Make sure you return to safety, especially in the event of high wind, snowstorms, rainstorms, or a combination of these. Other reasons to turn around can be that you're unprepared for the sun and begin to feel lightheaded, or that you're starting to dehydrate. That's completely fine. Better safe than sorry. And lastly, remember to enjoy. You guys remember the tortoise and the hare story? In trekking, take it slow. Enjoy the sights and sounds, and breathe in the clean air. Beginners mostly go off on hikes at a blistering pace, only to tire out later. On a lengthy hike, remember to conserve your energy. You never know what circumstance you'll need to focus your energies on. For instance, you'll need energy if you get lost or take a long trail. It has to do with safety. Have some juice in your tank when you're finished. Stay with the group if you're trekking with others. If you decide to branch out from the group, schedule times when the group will reassemble. Another fantastic method to make the most of a hike is just to take it all in and hike slowly. So we know that beginners like you may find hiking scary, but there isn't any science to it. To hike, all you need to be able to do is walk and be aware of your surroundings. Plus, it's an excellent way to spend time in nature, burn off some energy, and rejuvenate. That's a wrap for this video. We hope you find this useful, and we'll be heading to your first hike soon. What's the one thing holding you back? Let us know in the comments below. As always, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.